Welcome to another InWheelTime podcast. From the Sugar Shack Studios in Houston, Texas, USA, it's the InWheelTime Car Talk Show. Just ahead, Richard Tomlin and how to teach a teen how to drive on ice and snow.
Oh, boy.
Jeff has the cruise in and events calendars, and I'll bring you stories making automotive news headlines this week. Plus, we're going to start off, actually, with with Mr. Mars and his car review, the Hummer, that because of my short-term memory loss, I didn't get it in the last segment. So, Richard, just be with us for just a little bit longer. We're going to get to Mr. Mars
Thumbs
first
up from Richard.
because he's got a hissy fit going on over here.
Yeah. He does not.
And so we're going to do that. So
Let's do it.
Richard's going to be with us in a minute. All right. This hour's car review from Mr. Mars is of the Hummer EV.
Now, this is the 2025 GMC EV3X SUV. Now, I point that out because the first one to come out was the truck. In 2022, they came out with the Hummer truck in an EV format. And so last year, 2024, is when they created the SUV. You can have the SUV in two trim levels. You can have either the EV2X or you can have the 3X. We happen to have the 3X. Not a whole lot of difference in them, but it is a different trim level. Seats 5 passengers. Up front, you're going to find an E-trunk with a power hood that opens up. That's basically where you can put some storage in there. You're going to find your cables for charging and everything. It's got LED lighting all the way around, including a light bar across the very front that says Hummer EV. It's pretty cool at night. There's no doubt people see you coming. They know what you're doing. It's got some fixed aluminum step plates that you're going to need to get up into this vehicle. They don't lower, but it rides pretty high with these 22-inch tires, 22-inch wheels, and the tires that they've got on this thing, which really come in handy. Now, it's got the power heated side view mirror. It's got a power rear swing gate, which is where the full-size spare is mounted. It swings out to the right and left with a push of a button. Does roll on some 22-inch aluminum wheels, which are a $4,500 option for the ones that we happen to have.
Wow.
You're going to find skid plates. You're going to find cameras for off-roading. We had the trailering package, so there's a lot of features that are built into this. A lot of it was options, but it's pretty easy to get them. Inside, we had premium leather alternative seating surfaces.
Alternative?
For what that's
Is this a
worth.
DEI seating?
I'm not sure. The front seats are heated and ventilated. The second row seats, the outboard seats, are heated, and that is a 60/40 folding seat. Now, in the center of the dash, you're going to find a 13.4-inch diagonal touchscreen. You're going to find your infotainment there, your convenience controls, your nav, your cameras, all that good stuff is going to be all right there where it's easy to reach. The driver has a 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster that you can kind of move around to whichever way you want it for whatever you're doing. It's got wireless technology, Apple CarPlay, Android. It's got front and rear USB ports in this vehicle, so your rear passengers won't be bugging you. It's got an HD surround view with selectable cameras, so you can pick which camera you want to see. This is really handy, going to be handy in the off-roading, and this vehicle is really geared more to the off-roading, in my opinion, than it is to running around town. That's because this is a big vehicle.
How big is it?
Big vehicle.
So big.
Yes. It's big enough that it has a Bose premium 14-speaker audio system on the inside of it that sounds really great. Now, this is the 3-motor EV all-wheel drive system. Now, there's one motor for the front and 2 for the rear. Now, this produces the equivalent of 830 horsepower, 11,500 pound-feet of torque. This vehicle, well, I missed it. Where did I put the weight? There's a 1-speed transmission.
Can't be 11,000 pound-feet of torque.
11,500 pound-feet of torque.
Is that towing or torque?
11,500 pounds.
Wow. Okay.
That's what it said. I wrote it down twice.
All right.
Now, it will tow 7,500 pounds. It's rated to haul 1,300 pounds. And they say, GMC says it's got a 314-mile range. Now, they also say that if you're using your 240 charger at home, if you run this baby down to 0, it's going to take you 10 and a half hours to charge it. Now, I went to a charger at 41% to charge it up for them to come and pick it up. Took me 2.5 hours to go from 41 to 90.
But that wasn't a fast charger.
That's the fastest thing I got.
Well,
it
over
was
there
at
in
a-
Neederville, they're just now getting away from bicycles and moving into the
That's true.
car era.
Now, this vehicle weighs 9,063 pounds.
That's why you need all that torque. Oh, my Lord.
9,000.
There goes all that torque.
Yep.
Gee whiz.
And according to the computer, I got 1.2 miles per kilowatt hour. So, and I drove it 104 miles. And I found a formula that, so by the time you do the conversion, that actually equates out to 37 miles per gallon equivalent.
Huh.
And this vehicle, by the way, it says it'll do 0 to 60
in 10 minutes.
3 seconds.
Wow.
You stop.
Have you noticed that I'm slumping in my seat?
I see that. You're fading fast. I'm going to hurry. 35-inch big fat tires. What's amazing is you get in this thing, it's really big. You know you're in a big vehicle, but going down the road, it rides remarkably smooth. And I think it's because of the big tires. They got some big meat on this thing.
Loud.
And they're not loud.
Oh, okay.
No, they're not. So as far as this goes, base model price for this vehicle. Now, again, 2 trims is all you get. $96,550 for the 2X 4-door SUV. Base trim price for the 3X is $104,850. Now, the MSRP for the one that we had to test and drive with all the options, $107,920. Now, if you're looking for something, the best I could come up with something to compare to this would be the Rivian R1S. It starts out at $82,900. It's got a 300-mile range. So it's got a little bit bigger, a little bit better. Land Rover Range Rover, which is more of a hybrid, it starts at $107,900. You might want to look at the Tesla Cybertruck. It's because it's not really a truck. It doesn't have a truck bed on it. But the all-wheel drive version of that starts at $79,990. And they're going to come out with a new one for $99,990.
And you might also want to check out the used cement truck down the street.
Well,
it's about
I will
the same
say,
size.
Torque's about the same.
I was very surprised driving this vehicle and the way it drove, the way it handled, and I was very surprised I didn't start talking with an Austrian accent by the end of the week.
Oh. Nay.
All right. Sorry, Richard. Richard Tomlin, Apex Auto Works, on the line with us right now. How are you, buddy?
I'm dead sexy, and yourself?
About the same. Well, not dead yet, but sexy in my own life. Yeah.
Understood.
How have you been? Haven't talked to you in a while.
Life is good. Weather's amazing today. Preparing for Monday, Tuesday, right?
Yeah, exactly. All right. So Mars said we're going to have him on. We're going to have him talk about teens and driving in ice and snow. I saw a video. Was it yours? I saw a video, and I thought it was absolutely stupendous, where they put a truck, I don't remember what, it doesn't make any difference what it was, but they put it on dollies, all 4 wheels on dollies. And they said, okay, now steer the car down the road. And that car was all over the place. Is this what you're talking about? Same thing?
The same thing, but a similar concept. So those basically use the car jacks, and you raise the car up so the wheels just have very, very small contact, but you're still in control of the car.
Yeah.
It's what we used to do in Midwest Kansas, where I grew up, which when you had a snow or ice storm as a youth, that's where you were taken to the local church parking lot or the local grocery store early in the morning, and you were put behind the wheel, and hey, here you go, slide the truck a little bit, slide the car. Now turn into the slide. Learn how to control this. Now steer out of it. These are the things that a lot of driving schools are missing. And when we have these accidents or people lose control, and even the water here in Houston, when we have some of these quick rains and concrete doesn't allow it to drain, a little hydroplane action and knowing how to counter steer a car and control it when you're somewhat not in 100% control is a skill set that most of the youth should have.
I agree. And I'll tell you what, it was an early lesson for me, and it was not on ice, but it was in not even deep water. It was just the water was covering the road just a bit. And I'll tell you what, you do 45, 50 miles an hour, and you try to go around a corner with you got about, half an inch of rain on it's the same kind of concept.
Same kind of thing. So we teach this stuff in the driving schools as well down at MSR. We use a little bit of soap and sprinklers on a skid pad to help the kids slide around a little bit more. But when you've got this snow and ice, it's the perfect opportunity to go out as a parent, spend a little time with your son or daughter, teaching them how to slide the car around. I'd sent Mars a video of us in a truck I guess, what was that, 4 or 5 years ago, we were at a Walmart parking lot, and we were sliding around shopping carts because it looked like an apocalypse. They just left everything out. But my son at the time was very nervous. Now, fast forward 5 years. Yesterday, he asked me if I was going to take him out in the parking lot and teach him how to do it, like I did my daughter Ricky years ago. So it does make a difference on learning to control a vehicle. That's why driving schools happen. That's why some of us like large V8 horsepower cars, so we can break the rear end loose and slide the car around. I think that's part of why drifting is also so popular. But if you'll just take a little time, find that local church parking lot, make sure you don't have the parking medians and a bunch of trees around, right? Be selective in where you go, but take the time to bond a little bit with your kids in driving.
Yeah, because, I think one of the important things and lessons here is for the parent is that you want to make sure that you want them to lose control so they know what that feels like.
Yep.
You don't want them to try. Yeah, granted, the ultimate goal here is to be able to maneuver the car around so you get it back under control. But if you never lose control, you don't know what that feels like. And it can be pretty scary, especially if you're in a parking lot with, light standards and barriers and all that sort of stuff. A big wide open parking lot. What would be perfect is if we could cordon off a part over there at NRG Stadium or something big
absolutely.
that you're not going to run into anything.
Plenty of space to run around, and it's just control. And as we get near this time, those of you that have got work, keep in mind, the easiest thing to do is wait until the sun comes up. The sun comes up for about 30 minutes. It changes all of our driving conditions greatly. Call the boss, tell them you're going to be late for work, advise them why you're still coming, but give the sunlight a little bit of time to melt some stuff. Temperature to come up a little bit, and you should be fine.
Well, I will tell you that the best advice that I could give is if it's a snow day for school, then stay home with your kids and enjoy that little bit of time that you have with your kids during a snow day at home, and don't get on the road.
Hey, we were drifting in the 70s in Detroit before drifting was cool.
Exactly.
In the snow.
Exactly.
Before it
We
became
knew how to
sport.
do it. And
As a sport, people
synchronized.
make a living at it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, somebody was saying, well, I don't know why you guys make such a big deal out of, a snow. Well, because we don't have any plows, and, spraying that stuff that they spray on there, it kind of helps.
Chat rock, kitty litter, all that.
All that stuff. But the bottom line is if you're going too fast, you're going to lose control. I don't care what they've got on the road.
That's right.
Yeah, for us, it's the amount of bridges and overpasses in Houston.
Exactly.
You're at risk traveling about anywhere, going over a bridge or crossover, and that's where you're going to have your problems around here.
Yeah.
Level ground, you give it a couple hours, you're fine. But the bridges, overpasses is where our issues are.
So, John, did you tell me that that you got classes down at MSR?
Richard.
Yeah,
Richard,
we have
I'm
classes
sorry.
down at MSR. We have a teen school.
You do?
We have a teen school down there. Happens once a month. Bring your child down there and sign them up. It's a full day, lunch provided type deal. Parents are welcome to watch, but we usually say drop your kids off, go away. Come back in 4 or 5 hours. And,
So what does
it'll be a
that
different
what so
driving.
what does that include? Well, I mean, obviously some classroom. Then you go out.
It's about an hour and a half a classroom, and then it's usually 2 students per 1 instructor. We hop in the Mercedes provided by Mercedes-Benz of Sugar Land, and we go out to the skid pad. We run a skid pad. We run an autocross section. We run a braking section. We teach you how ABS functions. We teach you how to load the car and unload the car to make it change directions, and then we put you on a skid pad and slide the car around.
How much are these for the students?
I think it's $495 right now, $500.
Mm-hmm.
It is. Will definitely, in most cases, I could say it's 100% improvement on your youth's ability to drive a car.
Is there any consideration for insurance once the youth takes this course? Do they contact their insurance company and say, look what we did?
Yeah, State Farm does some of that, and I have seen some Allstate people do it. Allstate agents will do it as well.
I had
But
somebody.
it's usually that relationship with your agent is what gets that out of the school. But we do provide certificates through the school too.
I had somebody ask me, said, well, parents are teaching the kids how to. Yeah, so the parents are teaching the kids the parents' bad habits.
Right.
Exactly.
And
Driving with hazards on in the rain, bad habits. Don't do that.
Oh my God, yeah, that's absolutely the worst. It's funny. What?
He's pointing at you.
He's pointing his finger
at you. Like pointing at Don.
That's something that I do not do. Thank you very much. But I will say that I've had people ask me. So what about you don't need driving. Yeah, when I taught my girls how to drive, Katie taught her how to drive a stick shift, but I also put her in driver's ed. So it was away from me. They went to a legitimate driving school, and I don't know what it was, 4 or 5 sessions, and it wasn't that much money. And they learned stuff that I probably learned but forgot back when I was taking driver's ed in junior high school.
Yeah, the horse-drawn carriages were a lot different.
Shut up. I knew you were going to go there.
I had 2 granddaughters that they just turned 18, and they didn't get their license till they 17. I mean, they were in no hurry to get it. But some of the things they came home from driver's ed with that they were telling me, well, this is what we learned. I'm going, that's not what we learned, and it's really changed a lot.
It has. Yes, it has since the carriage days. Thank you. I think you're talking more along the lines of the chariot days.
Yeah.
That was yours.
Ben
Hur.
Me and Ben were
tight. Yeah. So how are things with you? What are you preparing in the shop for?
Chihuahua is coming up again, Chihuahua Express.
Yep.
We're like 60 days out from that. Back another trip to Mexico and thrashing on a Pikes Peak car. Trying to add more lightness to it, a little more aero. Got a Firebird in the shop, a 63 Falcon, 68 Chevelle. We got a Mustang here right now, Coyote swapped, a local friend just down here playing with cars because that's what we do. But it's a Coyote swapped Mustang. Just fun stuff, Staying out of trouble is what we're trying to do.
What's that Pontiac? Is that a Pontiac there behind you?
Yeah, that's a Trans Am.
73, 455, all original, with the exception of suspension and snowflakes, of course. But it's a lot of fun. It's a great driving 4-speed car.
So are you bringing a driver over from Europe again for Pikes Peak?
We don't have one this year. Actually, we are in current talks. So Yuri has not decided whether he's going to run this year or not. It's looking like a no. And we've been talking to Paul Girard, the Stig from the show Top Gear. Mm-hmm. He was the American Stig. He came down a couple weeks ago and tested the car, likes it. So looking for some sponsorship money to lock all that in because, as we know, Pikes Peak is not a cheap endeavor.
No doubt. Well, Richard, it's great to talk to you. Good to see you again. Thank you so much for the insight. And good luck in your endeavors with what you got going on there, and especially in the racing era.
And we need to talk about Victoria next time, too. Looks like we may be putting on an event there very soon as well.
Oh, we love that.
We'll chat soon.
All right. We look forward to it. All right. Take care. We appreciate you. All right. Hey, when you download our app, you'll have access to InWheelTime Car Talk 24/7. Just look for us in the App Store and check us out on the Odyssey Radio app where you can stream us in your car. Podcasts available from your favorite podcast provider, including SiriusXM. The weekly video stream of our live show is on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. Catch it 10 to noon Central Time every Saturday morning. The InWheelTime Car Talk Show continues after this. The Tex-Mex dining experience is defined by Lupi Tortilla, your destination for Texas's best beef fajitas and frozen margaritas. Since 1983, Lupi Tortilla has served authentic and time-tested recipes made with the freshest ingredients. Atmosphere is part of the award-winning experience at Lupi Tortilla, all developed in a little house near Highway 6 and I-10 in West Houston. Visit any of the Lupi Tortillas and you'll see the same attention to detail in each and every location. Start your Lupi experience with queso flammeado and guacamole, along with a classic frozen margarita. Dine on famous Lupi beef and chicken fajitas, or pepper shrimp brochette, or a fish or vegetarian entree, and finish with a scrumptious flan for dessert. Find Lupi Tortilla in Houston, College Station, Beaumont, Austin, San Antonio, and Dallas-Fort Worth. There's a Texas location near you. The recipes are authentic and time-tested. The ingredients always fresh. Lupi Tortilla, he's pretty good. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. Hey, today's InWheelTime Car Talk Show is sponsored by Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex, Gulf Coast Auto Shield, and Pro-Am Auto Accessories. Be sure and support them through your ride. All right. Let's take a look at the cruise-in and events calendar.
Sure. Well, this weekend, obviously, with the weather, there's going to be a lot of things that are canceled. There's already some cancellations going on. But we're going to talk about next weekend. Next Saturday, you got a family cruise-in. Bring your car, truck, or bike. All makes and models are welcome. Food trucks are available. Live music, cold drinks, and more. Family and pet-friendly. You want to have a family friendly event. You really do.
Where is this?
This is going to be at the 3 Acres Food Truck Park at 10648 FM 1764 in Santa Fe, Texas.
Yeah.
So be out there. It goes from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. this January 25th. $5 for parking, which includes the event cars that you're bringing out. So $5 goes to a good cause for parking. Be mindful of all the rules. Sunday of next week, you got Garages and Gearheads in Katy. Garages and Gearheads is having a coffee at their Katy garages. Bring your friends, meet the local car enthusiasts, coffee and donuts out there, all that good stuff. That's at 1435 FM 1463 in Katy, January 26th. And that goes, Mike, from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Yeehaw.
So be there.
So that's the cruise-ins and
then,
events.
of course, we've got the Automotive Show coming up at the end of this month. And also...
In 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks. And then we've got also the monster trucks are coming in also to Houston for 2 weekend events.
Yeah. And I think that starts the same weekend
Same
as
weekend
Houston
as
Automotive.
Yeah, it's on the different side of the facility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the stupid-looking United Parcel Service.
Thinking which one?
Yeah, parcel service trucks that they've thought about, the all-electric thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oshkosh Corporation, which is the manufacturer, is prepared to provide the U.S. Postal Service with more gas-powered mail trucks if the agency cuts back orders for electric vehicles, which benefit from funding President-elect Donald Trump has criticized. He says we will do what they want us to do, supplying either gas or electric. John Pfeiffer, the company's executive officer, said in an interview with the Consumer Electronics Trade Show in Las Vegas, a new Congress could come in and repeal, I guess, part of the IRA that hasn't been spent.
Wow.
President Joe Biden's Inflation Reduction Act provided $3 billion over 10 years to transition the post office to an electric fleet, including $1.3 billion for vehicles and $1.7 billion for charging stations. Why?
Yeah.
The agency has said it plans to buy more than 100,000 delivery vehicles through 2028, of which at least 62% will be fully electric. Well, at least as of today. Postmaster General Louis DeJoy, there's no joy at DeJoy, last month told Bloomberg his independent agency needs to replace aging mail trucks and that he hasn't heard from the incoming presidential administration about its planned electric vehicle purchases.
They're going to string them along.
That's what I'd do.
Mm-hmm.
We'll
We'll get to that next week.
Yeah.
Maybe next week after that.
And
Pretty soon.
it's been a couple of weeks. I'm sorry, we're not going to be able to get to that till July.
Or as they used to say, let's circle back on that.
Yeah, let's circle back on it. Mm-hmm. So we'll see how that all plays out.
Yep.
This is a story that I had to get in before the end of the show. You ready?
Yep.
A used car finance manager who was allegedly fired after a Texas store learned about his wife's pornographic videos on social media can pursue his retaliatory discharge claim against the dealership group, according to a federal judge.
Oh, man.
The decision reinstates Russ Kirby's claim he was wrongfully terminated in March of 22 by Sewell Lexus of Dallas. He had worked for the company since 2012. However, U.S. District Chief Judge David Godbee dismissed a related racial discrimination claim by Kirby, who is white and married to a black woman. According to the December 4th decision, one of Kirby's subordinates discovered the pornographic postings on Twitter, Instagram, Pornhub, and OnlyFans. Kirby's wife had used a pseudonym, but the subordinate recognized her face from a photo on her husband's desk.
Oh, boy. She used to work for Tata Motors.
The subordinate took screenshots and showed them to coworkers and managers. Kirby met with the store's GM and executive vice president, who allegedly told him they were aware of his wife's content and could not have him in an environment where people don't want to work with him, the decision said. Kirby contends the store's termination report was fraudulent, and he'd been advised at the meeting to attribute the termination to a new company structure.
Oh, wow.
Oops.
Yep.
So they said, we're going to fire you, but we don't want you to say we're firing you.
That's right. And we want to keep those pictures on your desk.
No, the pictures weren't pornographic. They're just family pictures.
Can we get the website
There you
address?
go. What is that again?
That's it.
900 what?
Oh. I was hoping to end the show with that, but I can't just now. But I will end it with this good note, because, you know, I have ragged on Stellantis for, well, a couple of years now, since that moron took over and ruined the company. Ram CEO Tim Kuniskis, who Mike and I have met, on his second day back after a 6-month retirement, told reporters that he'd definitely be shaking up the brand's game plan. What Kuniskis didn't reveal at the time was that he'd already made a big change on day one, delaying Ram's first fully electric pickup, the 1500 REV REV, from early 2025 to 2026 at least, because demand in the segment isn't strong enough. Somebody with the brain. Means the Ram Charger, a hybridized model with a range-extending gasoline generator, will come to market first instead. So at least they're getting
In other words, they're too far in not to back out of that one.
Yeah, they are.
He'll
But
fix
that's
it.
okay.
He'll fix
They're
it.
not going to put it on the market just yet. They're not going to send it down an assembly line and have it sit on a lot because nobody can afford to buy it. Not going to happen.
Or that it works at all.
Well, or the infrastructure just isn't there. And digital tools that integrate online and in-dealership activities more seamlessly are driving record highs in new vehicle buyer satisfaction, according to Cox Automotive's latest car buyer journey study. They studied about 75% of the new vehicle buyers, and they were highly satisfied with the overall shopping experience, the highest in the study's history. That compares with 73% in 2023. About 16% of EV buyers shopped for and purchased their vehicles entirely online. 6% of hybrid buyers shopped and bought online, and 4% of those purchasing gasoline-powered vehicles took that route as well. So there's some stats for you, all from Automotive News this week. All right, we're going to wrap up today's show right after a quick break. We'd love to hear from you. Shoot us an email. The address here is info@InWheelTime.com.
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000-square-foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755.
From the open roads to the open waters, your adventure starts at the Houston Automotive Show at NRG Center. One ticket, 2 shows. Check out top cars, trucks, sport boats, fishing boats, and more. New designs, new technology, and everything in between. Spectacular experiences, amazing fun. There's something for everyone. Get your friends, get your family, and get your tickets now. The Houston Automotive Show, making waves and fueling adventures.
Well, that's it for this week's InWheelTime Car Talk Show. Be sure and check us out online at InWheelTime.com. We like car pics, so send us some of your car.
Ta-ta!
With a description and any additional information you want to include, and we'll feature it on a future show. Send it to info@InWheelTime.com. Hey, when you're looking for award-winning car talk, you can find it right here on the InWheelTime Car Talk Show, 24/7 on the InWheelTime app. On the road, grab a podcast anytime from your favorite podcast provider, and look for us on the Odyssey radio app as well. You can also catch us on the SiriusXM podcast channel. We live stream every Saturday on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. The InWheelTime video technical director is we always need more Jeff Zekin. For booking agent and people finder, Mike Out of This World Mars, Chief Engineer David Ainsley, I'm Don Armstrong. We hope you'll join us next week for another live edition, 10 to noon Central Time on all of our InWheelTime Car Talk outlets. There's a coach coming bringing the snow and ice, so stay safe out there and have a great week. We'll see you next weekend.
That's it for this podcast episode of the InWheelTime Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.